Dakar Rally when I was a kid in Ireland. It's incredibly popular in Ireland, and I remember sitting on a sofa when I was about 9 or 10 years old and watching the Dakar Rally with my dad, and I remember thinking and saying to Dad that that's what I wanted to do, not really knowing what it really was, and then I did Long Way Round, and I think for me it was a big turnaround, Long Way Round for me, because I was struggling quite a lot just before we did Long Way Round, and when I met Ewan about 13 years ago, and we got together and we decided to make this thing, and I think that the reason why it became a TV show was because I couldn't afford to do it without that kind of backup. I couldn't take the time off. I had 2 young children and all that kind of stuff. So Ewan really kind of he kind of sort of agreed or suggested that maybe we make a TV show and a book out of it. So that's sort of why it started, and we did that, and then from that it gave me the sort of launch. I'd met Simon and Plummy, just before doing Long Way Round, and so when I came back, I was really looking for something to do, and that's what I wanted to do. I'd met a guy called Chris Evans at the MotoGP in Portugal, and actually Russ and I were spinning this girl around on her back in the middle of the nightclub at about 4 in the morning, and Ali, her name was Ali Delali, we used to call her, and she was a lovely girl, and I met just because you're dossing out a nightclub with a girl doesn't mean to say you have to fuck her. You can have female friends, but and so I met guy Chris Evans, and he said he was in there with the Gulwal team and knew the whole background in ASO and all the people who ran it, and then with Simon and everybody down here, it seemed like the right thing to do, so that's how I got involved, but it's quite funny because when you start say that you're going to do the Dakar, all these stories come out, and it's like when you go around the world and people say, oh, you're going to go to Kazakhstan, dodgy place, you're going to get killed there, and you go there and it's absolutely fine, and it's like that the whole way until you get to Magadan and on the Far East Russia, and they ask you where you're going, you go America, and they go, can we come? But so most of the stories, it was like when we went down through Long Way Down, and we were doing some training with this guy who lives in Africa, and he comes out and he trains people about camping out and stuff like this. I don't know if some of you might remember it, but he was giving this really dark story about how if you camp anywhere in Africa you're going to get macheted to death, and he made these comments like, that's why he's taken up fencing, so he can parry and riposte a fucking machete, it's like, yeah, right, and that wasn't, and Africa really wasn't anything like people think it is, and it's an incredibly safe place, and thousands of people go anyway. But when they start telling the stories about the Dakar Rally, they're all true, and usually people are dumbing them down because they don't want to put too many people off, because otherwise no one would do it. And it's only when you do it that you realise how really hard it is. And and so that's why I kind of wanted to do it. But I had a lot to learn, and when I first came down here, I remember the first time I went out riding with Simon, I could see the sort of disappointment in his face, thinking, oh fucking hell, there's a lot to do here.